Hi, welcome to Movies Moment. Today we are going to explain a movie called The Lake. Spoilers ahead. Subscribe if you like this and catch us on the next one. Take care.
On a rainy night in the province of Buangkan, Thailand, a group of fishermen is searching for frogs near the river when they discover a mysterious egg. Fascinated by its size, the group approaches the egg. However, just before the fishermen can grab it, a giant monster emerges from the water and seemingly eliminates all of them. Eventually, the rumor about a giant fish in the lake spreads through several towns, becoming a legend of Buang, Kansas. In August 2017, a woman named Lynn is seen preparing breakfast. Next, she wakes her sister named May and asks her to fetch their drunk brother, Kang. So, May leaves and goes by the lake, waking Kang inside a cabin. When she finds him drunk again, May complains that she sees him like that every day. On the way back home, the two ask the locals if they have seen their father, but they cannot find him. Kang temporarily interrupts the search and decides to drink with a friend while May, curious, explores the farm. She stops in front of a puddle that looks like a huge animal footprint. Shortly after, May discovers the same large egg a few meters from the footprint. Upon touching the egg, May notices it is covered in a viscous substance. Despite this, May picks up the mysterious egg and takes it home. Upon seeing the egg, Lynn immediately refuses to keep it inside the house. However, May protests, insisting she wants to see the egg hatch. The argument ends when May leaves the house with the egg, leaving Lynn and Kang behind. May places the large egg on her bike and heads toward the lake. She observes the egg, feeling its movement in her hands while waiting for it to hatch. Noticing that May hasn't returned, Lynn and Kang go out to look for her. When the two arrive at the lake, they find blood in the water, along with a pair of sandals. Seeing that May has disappeared, Lynn lets out a panic scream while Kang rushes into the water to search for her. At that moment, a monstrous creature surrounds Kang in the water and is about to attack him, but he gets out of the water just in time. Lynn and Kang run toward the fields, with the creature chasing them. Soon, the creature arrives at the farm and begins to attack the local farmers. As they run, Lynn glimpses their attacker, which turns out to be a monstrous creature with the body of a fish, a long snake-like tail, and crocodile-like skin. The creature can stand on its legs and move quickly, killing farmers in an instant. Unable to overcome the creature, Lynn and Kang quietly hide in the trees. However, the creature quickly finds them, injuring Kang's shoulder in the process. After the terrifying moment, Lynn and Kang manage to escape from the creature, reach the road, and get a ride to the hospital. Later, at the hospital, Lynn is questioned by the police chief of Buangkan, Mr. Suwat. Lynn says that the attacker was not an animal but a monster she has never seen before. At the same time, the creature continues to cause chaos in Buangkan, hitting a construction site and the city center. James, an inspector of the Thai Royal Police in Buangkan, is in the midst of a visit to the grave of his deceased wife when he hears about the attacks. He heads to the subsequent locations to investigate with his partner, Wit. There, they discover large footprints and traces of blood scattered everywhere, confirming the existence of the monstrous creature behind the legend of Buang, Kansas. Back at the police station, Commander Suwat holds a meeting with James, Wit, and other officers to track the creature's movements. They learn that similar footprints are situated in several lakes of Buangkan, but differ in size. James suspects that the creature travels through the water and only appears to hunt. As a result, the police split into two groups, each led by Commander Suwat and Inspector James, in an attempt to corner the creature on its route. After the meeting, James receives a call from the school principal about his daughter, Pam. James discovers that his daughter got into a fight and has been suspended. He picks Pam up from school and confronts her about her rebellious attitude. James asks if this is because of her mother's death, but she refuses to answer. Later, James takes Pam with him to work, driving with Wit to the designated area. Somewhere across Buangkan, two Chinese students, Wei and Chen, travel to Thailand to study the unusual events in the province. Wei observes the animal attacks and the abrupt climate changes that have occurred in Buangkan over the years. The two then head to a nearby lake to collect samples until they hear news about the attack locations. Upon hearing about the attacks, they run to the hospital and talk to the chief doctor. With the doctor's approval, Wei and Chen offer their help at the hospital. Inside the patient room, Kang wakes up after dreaming about May and the creature inside a cave. Moments later, with the man conscious, Wei and Chen approach Kang and Lin, asking what happened during the incident. Lynn doubts that they'll believe her, but still begins to tell about the creature and how the doctor still thinks King was bitten by a snake. Later that day, Kang and Lynn think about their younger sister, filled with concern for her condition. Shortly afterward, Kang goes to the bathroom and looks at himself in the mirror. He finds the area of his neck and shoulders bandaged. Kang clears his throat, trying to pronounce a word, but cannot speak. When he checks the wound on his shoulder, he finds slime all over the injury. At this moment, Kang has visions of his sister May, along with the creature. It is suggested that through his injury, Kang developed a connection with the creature, allowing him to see visions of its movements and whereabouts. As soon as he returns to the room, Kang writes on a piece of paper, informing Lin that he knows where the creature is. Thus, Lin and Kang escape the hospital to help Commander Suwat find the creature. Meanwhile, Commander Suwat and the other residents of Buing can gather at another designated location. Amid the stormy weather, the residents arm themselves with sharp weapons, preparing to capture the creature. At that moment, Lin and Kang arrive at the location, and Kang leads the way for him and the residents. When Kang points to a small building, the residents throw homemade firebombs toward it. The creature emerges from the building, causing chaos among the residents. Despite this, the residents throw the net at the creature, managing to capture it. The residents are determined to kill the creature, but Lin intervenes. She informs everyone that Kang is connected to the creature and that killing it would mean killing Kang too. In the meantime, Commander Suwat decides to store the creature inside a truck. As night falls, Inspector James, Witt, and some police officers stand watch at their designated location near the lake. While patrolling the area, James and the officers find May, along with the mysterious large egg. James allows May and the mysterious egg to enter the vehicle with Pam, keeping them warm during the stormy night. Everyone in the vehicle remains silent for a time until James decides to confront Pam again. James encourages her to talk to him, explaining that he is willing to listen. However, Pam is filled with bitterness towards her father. She refuses to open up to him, saying that he will not change anyway. Just then, a giant monstrous creature appears in the lake. In an instant, the creature eliminates most of the police officers in the area. James rushes out to call his friend but sees him injured, and looking around the vehicle, he spots the creature for the first time and is horrified by its monstrous appearance. The creature looms around the vehicle where Pam, May, and the egg are. Pam, who had no idea about the giant creature the whole time, screams when she sees it up close, but May covers her mouth. James watches agonizingly as the creature tries to attack the car. He attempts to distract the giant creature by shooting at it with his gun. Confronted by the monster, James leaps into the lake while Witt grabs an oxygen tank and throws it near the creature. Then, he shoots the oxygen tank, creating an explosion to prevent the creature from attacking the car. Unbeknownst to him, the giant creature has been circling the vehicle to retrieve its egg. The creature breaks the car and grabs the egg from inside. When Pam tries to exit the car, the enraged giant creature attacks the young girl with its claw, leaving her severely injured, and then leaves the area. James rushes to Pam and takes her to an ambulance. Inside the police station, Commander Suwat finds the place filled with terrified residents. Along with Fawn, a policewoman who is also his daughter, the two calm the residents and order everyone to settle in the central temple. Shortly after, Commander Suwat receives a message from James. James informs him that there are two creatures in Buingkan, which turn out to be a giant mother creature and a smaller baby creature. He urges Commander Suwat to evacuate everyone from the area because the mother creature is coming to their location. Inside the temple, the residents of Buing can take a short time to pray together with the monks before boarding the buses out of Buing, Kansas. Back in the ambulance, Pam is severely injured on a stretcher. As James hugs her, Pam expresses how much she misses the warmth of his embrace. James then comforts her, telling his daughter that he will never leave her again. Pam smiles, finally overcoming all her grievances toward her father. On the other hand, their reconciliation is interrupted when Pam's injuries worsen. She cannot make it to the hospital, slowly dying inside the ambulance. James breaks down in tears at the sight of Pam lifeless before him. Meanwhile, the buses are moving to evacuate the residents of Buing, Kansas. However, all the buses encounter heavy traffic along the way, as people left their cars and began to walk. As a result, everyone in their vehicles is forced to continue on foot. Just then, the giant creature arrives at the area, causing people to run in panic. James, who has just arrived at the scene, exits the ambulance. He sees a lost girl in the middle of the street, grabs her, and then runs in the opposite direction of the creature. In the midst of the chaos, the giant creature moves around, bumping into the two Chinese students, Wei and Chen. After looking at them for a while, the creature passes by the two. Wei observes that the giant creature did not harm them, then realizes that the creature does not intend to hurt anyone. He and Chen rush to inform this observation to Commander Suwat, stating that the creature is only there to find its young, which is the smaller creature they captured earlier that day. In an instant, Commander Suwat orders the police to stay away from the truck containing the smaller creature. After some time, traffic begins to ease, and the remaining residents return to the bus. James also manages to return the lost girl to her parents. Lin gets on the bus and waits for King to follow her, but he does not. King silently observes the people around before looking at the smaller creature in the truck. Lin calls Kang and stops him from leaving, but instead, her brother hugs her and leaves. Kang takes one last look at his sister before getting into the truck and driving off. As the giant creature is looking for its offspring, he intends to drive the truck with the creatures as far away from the city area as he can. Though feeling desolate, Lin accepts his decision and runs back to the bus. The next morning, after the chaos, journalists and media from all over the country come to Buin, Kansas. The journalists claim to have seen video clips online about the unknown creature, thus requesting a statement from the police commander. When one of the journalists asks about the identification of the creature, the spokesperson for Commander Suwat states that all the videos online are footage from a movie. They denied all allegations of a monster attacking people, keeping it as a legend of Buin, Kansas. After the press conference, Commander Suwat explains to James that he and the authorities of Buin can agree to hide the truth from everyone. The commander points out that it is still not the time to reveal it, and he does not want monster hunters to come to Buin, Kansas. Later, James hands over his badge to Commander Suwat, resigning from his position as inspector. For James, lying about the legend of Buin is more cruel than the creatures they dealt with. More importantly, it seems to be an attempt to cover up the authorities' failed response and the overwhelming number of victims, pretending that everything is at peace. Elsewhere, Mei wanders the street, searching for her brother and sister until Lin finds her. The two reunite with a hug while James silently observes from a distance. Slowly, the inhabitants of Buin can return to their homes, continuing with what is left of their lives. James visits the grave of his wife and daughter, still filled with remorse. Lin and Mei also spend time by the lake, thinking about their brother Kang. From then on, the giant creature never returned, and no one knew where it was. 5 years later, James discovers a hidden Buddhist cave in the mountains while searching for answers about the origin of the creature that killed his daughter. There, he finds paintings representing humans worshipping and offering sacrifices to the astounding beast. Suddenly, the candles go out, and with his flashlight, he shines behind him. The film ends with James finding more than he was looking for and seeing a creature staring directly at him.